about my HIV. And when I came out to my mom in '93 about my HIV, I thought I was, I don't like surprises, so I allowed my partner at that time to throw me a surprise birthday party. I allowed him to throw a surprise birthday party. But the surprise was I didn't know who was going to be there. And my mom's job was to keep me entertained before I arrived. And that's when I came out to my mom about my HIV status. And she started, she started crying. And she turned to me and she said, parents aren't supposed to outlive their children. And, almost instantaneously, she turned to me and she said, you know what, Greg, you have beat so many odds. I probably have nothing to worry about. And she didn't. I was able to take care of both my mom and my dad in the last days of their life, and lost them to cancer. So her wish came true, but for those parents, that's a tremendous loss, and tremendous thing to live with. But you can turn those things, and this is what I try and do in my life, is turn those, those devastating events into the gems of my life. The gem of my life is that, sure, I was raped at knife point. I was, abused, and I have HIV. I'm living with HIV. I have all of these things, but the reason why they're a gem to me is because I can empathize. I can empathize with people who are in those situations, and that's what the Castles have done, is turn their loss into a gem of something that can galvanize a community, and hopefully a nation, to be aware, bring awareness to water safety. It only takes a second. And so it's important, and I'm just grateful to be here, and also so blessed to have heard many of the stories that I heard this morning that were shared so honestly, and also to see the devastation, but also to realize that the reason why we're here tonight is to galvanize a community to be aware, to bring awareness to that. Probably, some of you may have remembered I did Splash last year. Remember that TV show on ABC? Splash? Well, when they contracted me to do Splash, they said, okay, you're going to be the dive master. And I said, oh, okay, dive master. Okay, so I have to, work with all of the celebrities and everything. And they said, yeah, you've got one guy that's like really, really overweight, and then you've got, this guy that's over 7 feet tall, and then you've got this one guy that is terrified of the water, and he doesn't swim. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And this is a reality show, and it's like, really? The one who couldn't swim was Chewy Bravo. I mean, little Chewy, little guy. And he comes to the first session where we all meet and, on camera, and he's got his water wings on, but he will not get in the water. And it's like, okay, I've got my work cut out for me. So what we did is I got him in the shallow end and where he could stand up, and I threw a bunch of change at the bottom of the pool. I said, okay, retrieve my change. And so he had to go underwater and, grab my change and then, bring it back to me. And so then that was one of the games that we played. The other game was we would jump up and down in the shallow end going towards the deep end. And so you're always pushing off the bottom of the pool, and see how far he could go, in his comfort zone. And then that was his training. So we all learn progressively, we learn by layers. And so these were kind of the layers that I was doing. I didn't have him on a diving board. I did have him on the trampoline in a spotting belt, so he was safe and he got used to be tumbling over and doing some tricks. But we broke it down into segments. And then the other exercise, because I was thinking, okay, why did I love being in the water so much? And I remember getting dolphin rides from my cousin, my older cousin. I'd hang on to his shoulders, and he'd dive down, and he was a swimmer, played water polo. And so he figured this little, 5-6-year-old kid, I wasn't gonna be able to hold my breath as long as he could, right? So I'd have to let go and go back to the surface. And so he'd try and stay under, and I stayed under as long as he did. I had a pretty good lung capacity. So I figured, okay, how can I do that with Chewy? Because his arms were too short to grab onto my shoulders and hang on, securely. So what I did is I strapped a water noodle across my body, and I told him, okay, hang on to the water noodle and hold your breath at the right time. And so then we'd dive down and up and down and up, and we'd do circles and we'd flip over, and I got him comfortable being in the deep end because he was terrified the deep end was going to swallow him whole. And so then we played those games, and he was coming into practice, and he was going, oh, what are we doing today? What are we doing today? He was so excited to be there, and he really became my hero. And then when we finally got him on the board, first, jumping off the 1-meter springboard, he jumped in, and then he started panicking, and he was very buoyant, but he didn't realize it. So it was like, he was struggling, and then he started sinking. And I'd say, relax, Chewy, relax. Relax, Chewy, relax. And then when he relaxed, he's just bobbing up on the, on the surface. And then he's like swimming. And it was so funny because it was, it dawned on him that if he just relaxes, he's going to float. And so every time he continued diving, we got him to do some front dives, and it was amazing. He was truly my hero of that show. Unfortunately, he got hurt before we started. He started competing, but he really, through the process, was truly amazing. And and he'd say, Greg, every time I dive in the water now, I hear your voice. Relax, Chewy, relax. And then he was fine. But that was an incredible adventure for me, in teaching and breaking things down into digestible segments, that people can understand. So, it was great. I've had some wonderful opportunities, and it's been such an incredible gift, that I've been given. And I also support Every Child a Swimmer, which is another group in New York. And and just water safety is so important. I mean, this is an element that that I love and adore. I mean, when I grew up, I was near the ocean, so I grew up in San Diego, so we had riptides. We always swam with a buddy. There was always somebody there, that was there to be your support, so we looked after each other. So, there's a lot of important things to take away about water safety and paying attention, and to have a lifeguard Olympics is so incredibly, stellar, to have the pride for those lifeguards to go through a lifeguard Olympics, to be challenged, because you don't always have those, the ability to practice those skills that you're taught as a lifeguard. So by practicing those skills, you get better at it. We get good at what we practice. And so it's great to have an event like that. And, the one thing my mom always taught me, and I try and do on a daily basis, and that is make everywhere I go better because I was there. And that's my challenge to you, is to make everywhere you go better because you were there. And Eddie and Laura, you do that every day. And thank you for the blessings that you've given us. And thank you for this evening. Thanks.
A true superstar, a man among men, ladies and gentlemen. How about it once again, Mr. Greg Louganis. We have a special award to give to Mr. Louganis. I'd like to gather around my friends. Mayor Oscar Lisa was not able to be with us this evening, but that's okay, because the mayor is here. Me, Mayor of Youth, taking care of business tonight. And of course, I'd like to bring up my own city council. That is our Drowning Prevention Committee, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to bring up Laurie Castle, Eddie Castle, Dr. Carlos Gutierrez, Martha Gutierrez, Mark Mathis, Joe Frandina, Stacy Wright, Wright Stanton, Charlie Swopes, Claire Cowan, Len Coburn, Leslie Lujan, Denise Knight, Anna Acosta, Cynthia Delgado. We can't thank enough for Dow Farley, Adrian Shield, along with Nikki Surrett, Christina Montoya, Abel Rodriguez for their help, Margaret Castaneda, Chandra Edwards Cottingham, Anthony Areola, Doug Long, Anita Rocket, Diana Hastings, and Tracy Novak. So.
Half the room will be up there. Careful at the edge.
Open it for me. I want you all, do you think we should do it off the stage on the side? Are you okay? Mr. Louganis, you got many awards in your life. You got the gold medals, you got all that. But ladies and gentlemen, we're about to present to Mr. Louganis the key to the city. Now this is not a normal key. Normally you see a key and you say, oh, that's a key, that's cool. But this key rocks the house. Let me show it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the people of El Paso, Texas proudly present the key to the city to Greg Louganis and sincerely say, Mi casa es su casa. Signed August 14, 2014. And this signature is actually on here. Oscar Lisa, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Louganis, if you'll come up. All y'all come around and get a picture. We can get a picture with everybody. Mr. Once again, how about it, ladies and gentlemen, for what he has done for this organization. Thank you, Mr. Louganis. At this time, we'd like to have Laura Castle give out the award for the William W. Cowan Award. Yes, ma'am. Clara, you stay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. I want to get you in the picture.
Okay.
So, the William Cowan Award, William Cowan was the co-creator of the nationally known Gus and Goldie Learn to Swim program. Mr. Cowan was a water safety advocate his entire life. Mr. Cowan worked for the City Parks and Recreation Department for over 24 years, and it was inducted into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. He's now in his 80s, and he's unable to be here with us tonight because he's ill, but his daughter Claire Cowan is on our coalition, and she's here with us tonight. He's really known as the father of swimming throughout our community. I know, as far as I'm concerned, my brother, we learned how to swim through Gus and Goldie. Can anyone in the room that went through Gus and Goldie or put their kids through Gus and Goldie please stand up? So we really wanted to give an award, start giving an award in light of Mr. Cowan. And we chose two people this year, or two facilities to receive this award. Both of them have given, they've given their facilities and donated them for the use of swimming lessons. Since Eddie and I became swimming instructors, ISR swimming instructors, they've been gracious enough to be able to host us at their pools. We have been able to teach over now 150 students in our community and within a year, all because of them. And a lot of them have been children who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford swim lessons. So I'd like to bring Beth Schrock-Valles from the Hampton Inn West and a representative from El Paso Tennis Club up to receive this award.
All those things, man. I'm serious. What does it say? It says no. Shoot, I forgot to be breaking the word. Remember, that's a thing else.
There's more.
It's so big, Beth.
Sorry. It's in here. And I guess that a representative from El Paso Tennis Club is not here tonight, but we have Beth Schrock-Valles from the Hampton Inn West. So can you please give a round of applause? Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Beth, for all that you do for our community and for our kids of El Paso. You give so generously, so thank you.
Stay right there. The plaque's right here. Once again, we want to thank all the many individuals that made this happen tonight. At this particular time as well, we'd like to bring up our other individuals that helped us with this tonight's ceremonies. First of all, wasn't able to be here this evening, but our presenting sponsor, Smile Center for Kids. Because we have a round of applause for them, please. And as well, what a great group of guys is always around to make it happen. Can't thank Mary Beth Stevens enough at El Paso Electric for their support of our event. If we could please have El Paso Electric come up and accept your award, please. Cool, this rocks. Hey, you stay here with me.
Okay.
Take the picture with me. Stand right over there and take his picture with me. And then again. Once again, Eddie Gutierrez, ladies and gentlemen, from El Paso Electric. Look at this one right here. And as well, when you talk about prices, you talk about Give 'em Five, you talk about milk, you talk about ice cream, but really what it's about with prices is kids helping kids. And that's what's so special about what they do. And Irene Pastella is simply an awesome, awesome individual. We'd like to thank her. As we always say, if you see a good friend walking down the street, you don't say hello. You say hello the Price's Way. You just stop and give them five. Once again, let's give a round of applause for our other sponsor, Price's Creameries. Here, right? And as well, we want to thank a group of people here tonight that really made it happen, but even more so, we want to thank El Paso Water Utilities for their support of this event. We could have a representative from El Paso Water Utilities come up, please. Thank you once again, Anai Patia from El Paso Water Utilities. Thank you very much. We'd like to thank as well Gene and Richard Schroeder for your help and support for the coalition. Thank you very much. If they're here in the house, if you please stand. We want to thank you for your support of the Drowning Prevention Coalition. Awesome, Lynn Coburn's parents, thank you very much. And KTSM TV, Channel 9, if representatives are here, please.